Hey, today we're going to be talking about the importance of authenticity in your branding. Brad and I are going to go over practical steps that brands can use to stand out from their competitors. And here's the deal. We know how important it is to diagnose the illness before you sell the medicine and focus on alleviating your customers' pain points. Let's jump into how we make your customers' life easier so you can sell more. Let's get to it. Hey, welcome back to the Stupid Simple Marketing Podcast. My name is Bryan. I'm here with Brad.
What's up?
What's up, man? So excited to be back in the studio. We're going to be talking about some stupid simple stuff.
Stupidly simple stuff.
Yeah, what are we talking about today?
We're going to dig into messaging today.
That sounds very exciting.
Yeah.
And it will be, I promise.
It will. Yeah, messaging, boring, no, copywriting, whatever you want to call it. How to use words, things to say, how to make it better, how to make an improvement on it, stuff that'll make the difference for whatever it is you're trying to do in your marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, these are the things that are very simple that so many people breeze past, especially on your website. Website copy is very important. How you structure your LinkedIn posts, how you respond to emails, or even in your email marketing campaigns, right? And so we definitely want to, again, these are very simple things, but very important and foundational things. So I know, Brad, your business is built around copywriting, right? And it has been for a long time. And so we talk about what are those things that set you apart as a business. And so we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording. But where would you start with somebody when in a messaging conversation or a new client comes to you? So how do you direct that conversation?
Yeah, no, great question. So something I've found over the years, and I know you experience this because you're helping people produce podcast content, is that every single thing that you do in marketing, everything, at some point, you're asking the question, okay, so what are we going to say? Like, you can't avoid it, right? Is it going to make a video? You're going to write an email? You're going to put an ad out? What's it going to say? What are we going to say? What are we going to say? What are we going to talk about? And so it really just is this seed bed of a foundation for all marketing stuff. And if even, what I'll engage the clients and talk to them about is this idea of just starting to thinking through the fact that you are just now a copywriter. If you are doing the marketing, you are one, because you have to be. And so it's something worth pursuing just to read about, learn about, listen to. You can't just whip it up real quick. ChatGPT is going to give you crap. It may be a good first pass, but it still needs to have a human touch to it. So it's just one of these things that you got to figure out. And so that question, though, is so big because it's like, oh man, I got so much to say, so much to talk about. We could go on for hours and hours about our services and our products and how much our customers love us and all this stuff. And really, we'll talk about that, I'm sure, in some future episodes. Really, one of the first things that I'll talk about when it just gets really direct to people, I'll say, okay, the two things you need to talk about at a very base level is what is it that you do? Mm-hmm. And then what is it that makes you different from somebody else who does that?
Yeah.
And that's not the end all and be all, but if you're at a networking event or you're across the table from somebody that doesn't know what it is that you do, you need to actually name the service that you do.
Yeah.
Not just get all elusive with cutesy language, right? If you're a plumber, you should probably say you're a plumber, right? We make people's homes run better. What does that mean, right? We keep the things flowing, right? Whatever, that's not something that you do, right? I mean, maybe you do, but I'm a plumber, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you need to say what it is that you actually do. And then the second thing is, especially when there is a business where you are doing the same thing that some other people also do, but you obviously have a unique take on it, a unique spin on it, or a reason that you do it differently than somebody else. And you want to communicate that, right? In some way, and not in paragraphs, but in a couple of sentences, a couple of phrases. And so those two things paired together are really the baseline place to start.
Yeah.
A lot can go from there, but if you can kind of get those two ideas together, you're going to be light years ahead of most people when they're talking about stuff.
I always like to use the dinner party analogy.
Yeah.
Somebody says, hey, what do you do? Anytime somebody says, well, it's a little complicated. I'm like, oh my goodness, here we go.
Yeah, right? This is going to be a while.
This is going to be a while. And that's where I think most businesses, and even my business, it's well, it is kind of complicated. There are a lot of things that we do and can do, but what is it? Well, we do video marketing. Like, oh, okay, what does that
That's
mean?
way less complicated than
It's
you
way,
may
yeah,
say,
it's
right?
very specific. And I even, we talked about this, but it's almost like the test of whether or not somebody's interested in continuing that conversation.
Yep.
So, networking events and conferences and stuff like that. Oh, tell me what you do. It's like, well, I own a video marketing studio for B2B companies. It's like, oh, okay. And if somebody's like, oh, tell me more, then you say, well, I know that it's hard to create consistent content. And so we start down that path.
Mm-hmm.
And what makes us different is like, well, we have a process that's pretty simple to create consistent content. It looks good and it's very converting. Oh,
Yeah.
but if you get that initial, like, I have a video marketing company for B2B companies, and it's like, oh, that's cool. Anyway,
Yeah.
he's like, okay, well, now we're moving on without me going through a full explanation
Sure.
of that and that's what people should get from all of your messaging is they land on your website and they should be able to say, is this for me or not? If
Yep.
you're not if you're not a B2B company,
Right.
then you're probably not going to work with us. Well, I mean, we may find a way to, but
Right.
I'm trying to help companies create consistent video content.
Right.
And if that's not you, then I would rather you find that out real quick as you land on our website, get our email newsletter, see my content, whatever it is.
Right.
And so, I think in the messaging world, like you said, you just have to tell people what you do. And a lot of times that helps without being, cute with your messaging.
Yeah, because that's different than if you were like, we help people inspire their base, their customer base. And you're like if that's what came out of your mouth in that conversation, people are being like, what in the world are you talking about? And they're going to be like, this person's weird, they're crazy, or they may lean in and ask you another question about that. But it's just like, it's so out there, right?
Yep.
And so, like we, one of the things that, I mean, on our end, what we do is, I'll give a couple examples. We used to build and design websites, okay? Like we don't anymore. We help people write websites. We don't build and design them, all that kind of stuff anymore. But in that time, when we were doing that, I would say, we build and design beautiful websites for people that need them. But what we also do is we also write all the words for them so you don't have to figure out what to say. And that was like, that was a differentiator. Because most website design companies, they're great. They can make beautifully, visually good stuff, but they're not copywriters.
Yeah.
And so they can make you something that works and something that looks good, but they're going to ask you as a business owner or the person, cool, what do you want to put on there? And you're like, I thought you were going to tell me, right? And so that was the space that differentiated us at the time. Now, kind of my version of it these days is we get a lot into strategy stuff too with people. We're really trying to diagnose marketing problems that are going on so we do things that are actually need to be done.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll just say, I'm a marketing consultant, but what I found is a lot of times when you go looking for marketing help, whoever the marketer is just trying to sell you the service that they actually sell. Nobody's actually taking the time to diagnose the illness before they sell you the medicine. And people are like, oh, okay. And so we have a process that we take people through to really figure out what's broken and what's working so that you fix the right things as opposed to just random stuff that some guy on the internet said you should do.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, so that's a little bit of it. That's a differentiator of that for me as opposed to if I just said marketing consultant in general. Okay, that's a great way to stop a conversation on an airplane, though. I found so it's just to stop there because people are like, "Cool." Anyway,
I'm glad I got this seat next to the marketing guy.
Right. I don't want to talk who's this shady person. Anyway, so if you're listening to this, though, Bryan and I are talking about this, like that really is just a simple exercise, and so something we're going to try to do on the fly. I thought it'd be kind of fun. We'll go back and forth. Is just. It'll be a little, I don't know, game style, right? I'm going to throw an industry at you.
Oh,
and then you'll do it and you try and then we'll workshop, but then you do it back to me, right? And it's just like, hey, if you're a whatever, all right? And so what makes a difference? So I'm going to tee you up one because I know you know somebody that does this.
Okay.
If you're like a kid's dentist, okay, like you're a pediatric dentist business, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's other of those in the areas wherever people live. There's probably more than one. And so it's not just a regular dentist, but you specifically work with kids. Okay. So like, what are some ways that you can do what we just talked about? What is it that you do and kind of what's a little bit of a differentiator for that?
Yeah. Well, the problem is that nobody likes going to the dentist, right?
Cool. Yeah.
And so I know with this specific example, they make that fun. And so that is a very different experience, TVs and the ceiling and all that stuff too. And so I would say from them, it is like, you can get your teeth cleaned anywhere, but nobody likes to go because it's not fun. And so they make that experience way more fun.
Okay. Yeah. So we do dentistry for kids, but it's a kid's place love to come to as opposed to terrified to go to.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Which it is true. They do a great job. My kids love to go there.
Right. Yeah.
And as a kid, I never loved going to the dentist.
Right. Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, let's say, and even just workshop that further. Let's say that you don't know that you have the fun environment, but you still are a pediatric dentist, right? Or a kid's dentist, right? So some other options might be like, if this is how your business works, hey, we're a kid's dentist, but we really make sure that the appointment times are really short and on time, so you're not stuck with a squirmy kid in the waiting room for an hour waiting on your appointment, because we know that's time's valuable. So we have a process to make sure you kind of get in, you get out really quickly. Oh, okay. Like that could be like a pain point for somebody too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's differentiating. Okay.
Well, and also too, I mean, even going further in that, because they make parents not feel judged, and I think that was something that for me, understanding the difference in that. Like, I'm bringing my kid, we're probably not doing as great a job on their teeth as we should be, and so as weird as that is, but as a parent, you're feeling stress and anxiety about taking your kid, and then that a lot of times translates to your kids.
Yeah.
They feel that too.
Right.
And so that might be some of the messaging.
Absolutely.
It's like, hey, where parents never feel judged.
Yeah.
Very clear, direct statement. It's like, and if that's not you, then you don't have to go visit them. But if that is a pain point for you as a parent, it's like, okay, yes, thank you. Oh my goodness, it's a relief that comes in.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that judgment idea like brings about like Planet Fitness as a brand, right? And this is part of their simple messaging strategy. Is it's like, it's a affordable place to work out in a judgment-free zone, right?
Yeah.
And so like you see that, and if you're somebody who like, man, I don't want to go to the gym and be judged by all the gym bros and all the people that look like they know what they're doing. I've never been. I'm kind of worried about it. And so they say that's part of what they do. And so you get that, okay, I'll go check it out. Like if that's who you're trying to reach, then you get in there and check it out. Absolutely. So what about this? What if I were to say, you're a pediatric dentist, we're pediatricians, we just love our customers. We clean teeth so well.
Yes.
Or we care about people.
Well, that's almost like your core values, integrity.
Yeah.
I hope that's part of your core values.
Telling me the truth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, really. We're honest with people. It's like good.
Right?
Like
man, that really tipped the scales for me. Like, you're honest. Okay.
Good.
Well, why doesn't that work? Like,
well, that's assumed, right? It is assumed that you would be honest and you would have integrity in your business, and also like your patients should be taken care of well. Like that, I think that's where a lot of people say, "Well, that's our differentiation." And it's sad because that still comes up.
Yep.
It's like, well, we have a process. We really take care of people. Well, what does that look like? Well, we check them in, and then they go see the dentist, and then they get a sucker on the way out. And you're like, but doesn't everybody do that?
Right.
That's not that shouldn't be part of your messaging of what makes you different in that sense.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what's the word, table stakes for doing business is like, we're honest. We're not going to cheat you. We're not going to hurt you. We really care about our customers.
Yeah.
Have you ever run across a business where like, hey, turns out we don't care about our customers? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like you guys do care about your customers because everybody else says they don't, right? Like it's not different. Yeah. It's like you should, right? Or you don't get credit for points for things that you should just do as a human anyway, right?
Yeah. Or I would say it's almost even beneficial if you're saying, and I think about I don't know if I'm going to say the name, but it's like a large kind of influencer in the acquisitions company.
Okay.
And so he will come in and he's like, I'm not emotionally attached to your company. I'm not going to speak like I am. I'm just going to tell you how it is, and then we're going to go from there. And so all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay.
Right.
Either I can work with somebody like that, or it's like, no, I do want more of a relational thing.
Right.
So you can say like, I'm not here to come to your kid's baseball game and we're going to have this. Like, no, I'm here to help sell your company.
Right.
Like, great.
Yeah.
That's part of the messaging. That's part of the thing that makes them different is, okay, good. All I need is my company sold. You're going to come in and do that, and then maybe see you 10 years down the line. Right. I don't know. But there's no emotional attachment to it.
Yeah. No, that's a good point. The other idea that comes along with this is you said kind of like, oh, it's your core values or whatever else. And there's this idea that you are trying to make sure that you're weaving in stuff that matters to you, but again, stuff that's actually different and is differentiator. And I see that play out too when people come in. We're not like most whatever businesses, or
not like most plumbers,
not your average whatever it is, or a different kind of furniture store, or like, get what I'm saying? Like those three things.
Yep.
I guarantee I've written them in the past. I see them on the past, and like, but you're not telling anybody anything, and so, but it feels unique and mysterious. Hey, such and such, we're a different kind of dentist.
Yeah.
And you're like, is that a good different? Is it a bad different, right? Or a plumber? I mean, we're kind of throwing out some industries here. So that's just another thing that when you were saying that I see a lot is like, that doesn't tell me anything else. Like if you're at a dinner party, what do? We're a different kind of video marketing business.
Oh, that can get real spicy.
And in my head, I'm like, I don't even know what a normal one's like. How is it even different, right? And so it's just, and I don't want to be mean, but it's lazy. It's lazy creativity.
Yeah.
Because it's like the center alignment of graphic design in the word space.
Yeah.
You know, somebody wants to make something look snappy, you just center align it all and think you've done graphic design, right? Right. No, that's not good graphic design. The flip side on the messaging piece is, well, we're a different kind. We're unique, or we're not your mama's whatever, right? Yeah. And I'm like, it kind of has a little ear candy to it, but it doesn't tell me anything else that's unique about your business.
Yeah. And I would say if you're in the position of like, I can't change my overall company's, taglines and stuff like that, like that's okay. And there is no shame there because again, you said you've written those.
Yes. Yeah. They exist.
How many iterations of Go Rogue's like taglines and who we serve and what we do and all the things. It is something that is an experiment. I mentioned that in previous episodes. Everything is an experiment. But it is super helpful if you can dial that in and say, and you are in charge of the marketing and being able to say, okay, this is who we are. This is what we do. We fix your house plumbing. We fix your sink, right? And what makes us different? We show up on time every time.
Yeah.
That's a big pain point, right?
It absolutely is.
I think if you do have that control of your messaging within the marketing, implement those very simple things.
Yeah. So we got a few more minutes here. Let's talk through maybe a couple other industries. You throw one at me because I threw one at you.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. I did have, the service industry kind of keeps popping up in my mind.
Okay.
But what about larger, like power tool company, right?
Okay.
And they are competing against the big guys, maybe with an emerging brand.
Okay.
But what would you say from a I'll throw out there as previous client. This is out of left field, but they're a dustless power tool company.
Okay.
Right? They make power tools that don't make dust go all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that tees it up pretty easily.
I was like, let me just give you all.
How about I just tell you what it is that's different about them? For that example, hey, we make high quality power tools that don't leave a mess of dust behind, right? Oh, okay, that's unique and different versus like, we get the job done every time, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Again, there's just, I'm thinking Home Depot commercials. You kind of hear these things or whatever they are, right? But like if you're trying to talk about what it is, and you got to figure out what the differentiator is in that about your product and service, and then communicate it. And then again, if it's a technically a dust-free power tool, then what that does is it gives you leeway to then paint the scene of a contrast.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You just finished, I don't know, lathing the baseball bat that you're trying to have your 5-year-old use on the T-ball practice
also,
tomorrow.
If you do that, if that is something you do and you make your own baseball bats, please contact us.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to you.
Yeah, Ron Swanson, give us a holler. But I'm just like, but our lathing tool sucks up all the dust.
Yeah.
You get done and it's everywhere or it's nowhere. It's all collected.
Yeah.
Like you have room with every tool to tell stories. Then of like use cases. I'm imagining sanders and miter saws, drills, whatever it is. If there's things that are sucking the waste out of it on the way the power tool works, then you can just set that up over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's like your marketing campaign. It literally is like before and after side-by-side comparisons, this scene versus that scene.
Yeah.
Versus the temptation to kind of go elusive and high, clever and creative. We take the grime out of your daily life, or like,
that was good.
like, okay, yeah, but that's like
breathe free.
And build stuff, you know, like, okay, like those might be kind of things, but you know, if again, these aren't taglines we're creating, we're trying to talk about just messaging pieces that you can latch onto with quick quips that then you can turn into stuff later and use. And so, yeah.
I'm gonna throw another one back at you.
Okay.
One of my favorite examples that you give, which is the outdoor living space company.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like everybody designs, you know, makes landscaping and mows lawns and whatever else, but you have a company that you've worked with in the past, that couldn't get their messaging quite in line, and so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'll just tell you, they're Northern Virginia Landscaping. That's the name of their business. Go to nvalandscaping.com. You can go see their website. If you live outside of Washington, D.C. in Northern Virginia, they can hook you up. So they had, for years, they were having issues. They were building their business. I mean, they went from like added $1 million in revenue for multiple years in a row, right? From like below $1 million to like now we're 1, now we're 2, now we're 3. Like that's that's aggressive growth for a 6 to 7 year old company that's doing this kind of stuff. And their website existed, and it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but it didn't give you any essence. And even when they were talking about what they were doing for their business, like they were like, well, we're a landscaping construction company. We're a landscaping company. And so they kept getting phone call after phone call. And the assumption was, hey, do you guys mow grass? Hey, do you guys rake leaves? And they don't do any of that stuff. It's like they're building like $100,000 outdoor kitchens, right? Or like $45,000 acreage redos of a landscape design. That's not $25 a week to mow your grass, right? Which is a great business model. That's just not what they did. And so, so we workshopped some things that flipped out. They just started talking about this idea of, hey, we're a landscaping architect or landscape design and contracting company. And the next thing they say is like, a lot of people have a very bland, neglected yard they just don't like. And we come in and take those neglected yards and turn them into like an outdoor oasis. So whether they have, overgrown areas of the yard, they have drainage problems, or they just have some outdoor space they'd love to be able to use. We just help them create a place that a whole yard their family loves. And so this whole love your yard idea, that became the headline. That's what they latched onto. And immediately those little shifts, they didn't run any ads. It was just like the same traffic they were already getting just turned into the right kinds of customers.
Yeah.
And it was just that simple flip of, we're a landscape, construction company. We create yards that you create spaces outside, fix problem areas, and create spaces that your whole family loves, so you can love being outside with your stuff. And they're like, oh, okay, that's a differentiator. For them versus like, we'll just build some stuff and plant some plants, And I'm not saying landscape contractors talk like that, but like you could just stop there. Like, I'm a landscaping designer. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. And so,
well, and I think too, you brought up the example of they also measure it out, like with this dissolvable paint,
washable spray paint, and show you what the yard looks like,
ahead of time. Which again, they even in their marketing and their messaging, they can just show that, without actually saying, well, this is how we're different, because I've never seen that before, and so that might be something that from a unique value prop, like they bring that to the table whenever they're actually doing this. And again, it could be in their messaging, could be in their marketing, but being very clear with, this is what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to achieve a yard that your family loves. So
something that they're working on and trying to implement. This is like tips for people who are listening, is they're trying to get their whole staff to use the language. And kind of forcibly, jokingly, at the same time, kind of training, we call it, we'll jokingly brainwash them, right? You're trying to get this is how we talk about the business, so that it just starts to come out naturally. So when we're talking to people, hey, what is it you do? Well, a lot of people they have a big yard in this area, but they kind of think it's boring. They think it's ugly. They don't know what to do with it. They wish they could use it. And so we create a space they love. We kind of design it and plan it and build it. Oh, okay. Like that's a problem they've latched onto. That if you talk that way, then it just helps you feel more empowered, like you're helping people solve a problem. And again, it's a unique differentiator besides like we're a landscape design company that does designs and makes your yard look nice. Which again, you would expect, right? That's kind of table stakes.
Exactly. Well, cool. Practical steps for our listener.
And so, I mean, I think hopefully our brainstorm back and forth has kind of helped people imagine and even workshop some ideas. But that's it. Like, sit down with a piece of paper, take 30 minutes, put your phone down, set a timer on your watch or whatever, and say, okay, what do we do? Name it. And then what's a unique take on that we bring to the table that we can articulate and
Yeah.
say or write it out. And you're going to have a list of ideas. Hopefully, it's not just one thing.
Yeah.
But write it out and then workshop a couple of them with your team and just decide, hey, let's try using this for a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's try using this in our next emails. Let's try using this in some social media stuff. Let's try using this on this campaign we have coming up.
Yep. And I always get into I get excited about something. And I'm like, this is it. And then I sleep on it for a couple days. And I'm like, that was real bad.
Yeah.
Especially when you get cute with it. It's like, oh, this is going to hit. So make sure you give yourself some time.
100%.
Make sure it's, write it out a little bit and continue to workshop it because I think it'll be good. So awesome. Well, hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Make sure that you share this episode. We'd love a rating and review if you've been listening this far. If you're this far in this episode, please click the link below and leave us a rating and review. And until next time, we'll see you then.